Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
All right, listen up, cabbies. I got your assignments. Riga, 643. Wheeler, 148. Nado, 804. And all of you. You need to join host HP and Father Malone as they examine one of the greatest sitcoms in television history, Taxi. In Night, Mr. Walters, a Taxi podcast. Banter, 0, like your boxing record.
Night, Mr. Walters.
We're in Way Media.
Now check this one if you will. Tonight we offer you the sour fruit of a scientist's failure. For there are apparently some things that can't be accomplished. And therein lies the tale and hangs the picture. In this, the Night Gallery.
Welcome back, art lovers, to Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast, where we discuss Night Gallery, Rod Serling's follow-up to The Twilight Zone. I'm Father Malone, and with me here in the gallery are the Culture Cast's Chris Stachiw.
Just a little late. Not too late, though. Let's play this joke out to its final conclusion.
We'll be going there very soon and often. And joining us is the projection booth's Mike White.
I'm here to take a photograph of a vampire.
Tonight we're talking about 2 episodes from Season 3, Episodes 5 and 6. Those are You Can Come Up Now, Mrs. Miliken, Smile Please, and The Other Way Out. That's right, I named 3 titles because in a rare Season 3 treat, Episode 6 has a blackout sketch, the one we just mentioned, and it's terrible.
Tonight we offer you the sour fruit of a scientist's failure. For there are apparently some things that can't be accomplished. And therein lies the tale and hangs the picture. In this, the Night Gallery.
We are talking about Season 3, Episode 5. This aired on November the 12th, 1972. You Can Come Up Now, Mrs. Miliken. This was written by Rod Serling, based on the short story The Secret of the Vault by J. Wesley Rosenquist, and directed by John Badham. It stars Ozzie Nelson, Harriet Nelson, Roger Davis, Don Kiefer. He was Mike the janitor from the Crate segment of Creepshow. We've already had Fritz Weaver. We're waiting for Hal Holbrook. We can get the whole set of these guys. And young Michael Lerner, already looking so old. This is the tale of an inventor and his absent-minded wife and the trouble you encounter when you have a serum that will bring back the dead, but no corpse to administer it to. What did you think of this one, Mike?
Why did he kill her?
Science, man.
Just killed her so he could bring her. Okay. Not so he could make her so she wasn't late all the time?
He didn't factor that in.
No, he wasn't trying to cure her clear onset dementia. that nobody is addressing. No, he decided, I know what I can do. I can kill her and bring her back to life. Right on, Ozzie.
Pretty neat using Ozzie and Harriet in this. It's kind of stunt casting at this point, but sure, why not? I mean, John Badham directing, good job, but this goes on for a long time, and I don't know if it needs to. I mean, it feels, and the worst part is it feels very disjointed because you've got all the stuff that you're talking about with Michael Lerner and all of these people where he's like, hey, I'm doing this alchemy experiment. Whoops, it blew up in my face. I'm like, you are the worst scientist ever. What is going on here? But yet you think you can kill your wife and bring her back. And yeah, it was a muddled mess to me, though it was nice to see Ozzie and Harriet. And I realized that I really have to get my eyes checked because I thought the title of this was You Can Come Up Now, Mrs. Milkcan.
That would have been a better fucking title.
This is Milk Cans. You can come up now.
Let me show my age. Ozzie and Harriet means nothing to someone of my age. Shocking, I know. But I looked it up. Fine. Okay. So I understand the stunt casting aspect like you were talking about, Mike. However, all of that aside, this is not a compelling story. The moment you understand what the gag is, it's pretty obvious what the gag's gonna be, what the final gag is. Oh, yeah. She's a zombie and she's not there on time. Yeah, I mean, sure, but why does this have to be 20 minutes? Why did this story necessitate 20 minutes? And yeah, the Michael Lerner stuff's the funniest part because getting to see that thing explode and then it'd be like, come back, no, wait, don't leave, I almost killed you, that part's funny. Unintentionally funny, but I cannot believe, again, I'll say it again, I feel like I've a fucking broken record at this point. Stop doing blackout sketches as full-length episodes. Please, Rod Serling, I beg of you.
This segment actually really made me angry. The whole aspect of his wife is clearly losing her mind. She can't remember things he's told her after moments, like a goldfish. And he doesn't treat this at all. No one who's interacting with her is that there's a nephew who apparently drops by all the time, who's a medical lad, and he doesn't seem to have any problem with her deteriorating mental state. So I was on edge during the entirety of the episode. Didn't help that we started with Ed Sauter and his score here. It's this jazzy, tonal, like furious plunking on a piano. It's, come on, man, lay off. Let us ease into this a little bit. There are some things I like. Mike, you mentioned it. It's Badham. He's the only thing other than the stunt casting working in its favor. After the explosion, Badham makes Ozzie's point of view ours. Like when Michael Lerner is dressing him down, he's dressing us down. And it was it felt very off kilter and interesting. I read the short story that this was based on.
I was very curious if you had. What's the story with the short story?
So the script, the Night Gallery script that Rod Serling originally wrote was called The Vault because it was a little closer to the original title, Secret of the Vault. That story first appeared in Weird Tales in 1938, and it feels like it was a paid-by-the-word affair. It's equal parts poor Edgar Allan Poe imitation and H.P. Lovecraft imitation. And it's just about a nephew who's been living with his aunt and uncle since he was a child, basically. And there is a vault in their basement that is the family crypt, a sepulcher. Is that the word? Who knows?
Sepulcher.
Yes.
Sepulcher.
Sure.
Sepulcher.
What about a charnel house? Is it like that?
Yeah, it's one of those words that you always see written, but I don't hear too many people dropping in conversation.
No, Tiger Army use it in a song. Good for them. So they have a family crypt, and the uncle spends an inordinate amount of time in the vault, as they call it. And then his aunt dies, and she's buried in the crypt, and now he's spending even more time in there. And while he's spending time in the vault, the nephew is investigating his study and finding all of these books on necromancy. And then he sees his uncle bringing candles spirited under his cloak down into the vault. So he knows something's going on. Then he finds the uncle's diary, and he confirms that the uncle is indulging in dark rituals in an effort to reanimate her, including fortune and frankincense. They make mention that he's using a fortune and frankincense, which I thought was funny. So he goes down to investigate the vault. His aunt returns to life and he runs screaming from the building. It's a lot of like, my mind reeled in abject terror. It's a lot of, it's a terribly written story. But
boy, that sounds like some Lovecraft to me, baby.
Exactly. By the way, what bearing does that have on anything to do with the episode Rod Serling gave us?
Oh, this is a very Rod Serling episode. That's why it's so Rod Serling it hurts.
But freely adapted is what I would call it. Every experiment he's tried has been in failure. Okay, yeah, no, wait. He's made him an inventor for no reason. He's given him the wife and given her the dementia for no reason. He's made him a poor inventor who is everything is it ends in colossal failure, but the reanimation juice is going to work. Was she supposed to be so out of it because she needed to, no one would agree to this madness? Oh boy.
I love when you get real frustrated with this show, because it frustrates me so much to understand the lack of understanding that Rod Serling had behind the source material with so many of these stories that we've had him adapt. It's like, why not just do the thing? Why not do the thing? Why not do the thing? I mean, it might not work as well, but it's got to work better than this, because I hate to say it, but the second part of this episode's like a minute long, and I would have rather given that like 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, because at least it would be a half and half. Because this is just there. It's just like it's milked the utter dry to the bone. Like, what are you getting from the initial story at this point?
I mean, I wanted to see either one more failure or a success, but we don't. We just get the one failure, and then she's kind of the next experiment. So it's like, well, sure, it might work. I don't know. Like, he's terrible in the first scene with Michael Lerner and trying to change a rock into gold
by heating it up.
Yeah. And I'm like, have you never done this experiment before? Like, is this brand new for you to do this? I don't know. It's so, for some reason, I was just like, and probably because it's so telegraphed to us, I was just like, well, of course she's going to come back. And of course she's going to come back late. So
dun, dun, dun. That's Ron's bitter irony for the episode. That's
5 minutes. Instead, what we get over and over and over again is, oh, I'm sorry, dear, I lost track of time. I'm sorry I didn't call you or do whatever. And again, there's no real consequences to any of that stuff. Like, there should have been like, oh, this speaker needs to be on for 5 minutes, and I am incapable of setting a timer or having a watch or even a hourglass here to tell me when this is up. Instead, I'm going to have my dingbat wife tell me when it's 5 minutes instead, and then it blows up. There should have been something like that, some sort of stakes.
If only there was an invention that would allow one to keep track of time on their own, like something you could put on your wrist or keep in a pocket, maybe.
An inventor. He could have invented one, made it out of potatoes or something. Why are you trusting your wife to bring you back at a certain time? He asked her, what did you just tell me you were going to do? And she said, I don't know. He says, you're going to tidy the house. And then he says, remember, come down and get me in 2 hours. And then he comes upstairs after all night and says, you didn't come down and get me. That's on you, you dickhead.
I honestly thought the direction it was going to go was he was going to poison himself, and then she was going to forget to bring him back. And it was going to be like, oh, well, look, he died, but hey, she fucking got you, dickhead. Like, and no, it was the way more bizarre way of he kills her and then the cops come and he kills himself. And it's like, whoa, wait, what? No, there's no stakes now. Who even cares anymore? We just leave the story after he kills himself, because what the fuck does it even matter anymore? What does her coming back even matter anymore is the question.
Didn't we have a better episode that was somewhat like that, where it was a guy who was supposed to be brought back, but then they screwed up and they put him in the vault, and then he came back later on after he was completely decayed?
The Dead Man in season 1 was the hypnosis episode where he could turn the guy into any malady. Yeah, yeah, I wrote that as well. I'm putting aside the deep similarities to the Dead Man here. And
much better episode.
Much better.
Yeah.
The nephew, the doctor character who shows up unbidden at the exact right time, he says, yeah, she's dying because of food poisoning, but we can't figure out the food poisoning antidote. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Also, medical boy, why isn't she in the hospital where they might find this food poisoning antidote? He tells the uncle, like, look, I called the police, and he says, you shouldn't have done that, George. He says, yeah, you're right. Take her to the hospital, you fucking lunatics. So the police show up, by the way. This is just sort of a nitpicky thing. 2 detectives, no uniforms, just a couple of guys with notepads. You just call the police and go, hey, someone's going to die or someone's dying. And the two guys in fedoras show up. Oh, my God. I will say that Harriet Nelson's death pallor when she does come back looks great. She actually looked really creepy.
Yeah. I do want to mention, is this not the same basement from that blackout sketch from the second season where the guy is putting his wife behind the wall? Is this not the same fucking stairwell again that Ozzie is at the bottom of in this episode? It's again, eerily similar. I believe it's also in the pilot episode. I think at the cemetery, another Ozzie descends those same stairs. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Portafoy.
This, I guess the stunt casting is what you're here for. But at this point in 2023, Ozzie and Harriet would mean nothing to most people. At least half of the people who would be able to watch this. So it doesn't.
But for those who did, they were seeing America's family in the most bizarre circumstance. I imagine this episode worked like gangbusters for children of the 50s.
Yeah.
But is the story that they're telling interesting of an inventor who kills his wife and then kills himself, but forgets that here's the problem ultimately, right? This motherfucker forgets that his wife forgets to do anything on time. So he's the real stupid shithead, right? Like, he's the stupid asshole in this entire story. Like, he acts like such a dick to her, but ultimately he forgets the key piece of information that she is late all the time. And so he's like, well, guess I'm just going to kill myself, as opposed to wait like an hour or whatever it ends up being. It's clearly within the same day. He's sitting there distraught at the fire because his uncle just killed himself. And then the aunt comes down. Like, I don't understand how Ozzie just forgot all of a sudden that his wife didn't do things on time. Like, dude, of all the things that you're getting on her for doing, this is the one thing that you forget. Like, how are you this stupid?
Yeah, I really blame him for the bad things that happened to him.
Yeah.
He deserves everything that he gets.
It's just
Michael Lerner was right.
You are a terrible scientist, sir. It's just not a compelling story. I mean, look, and the fact that they stretched it up to 20 minutes is Rod Serling, folks.
Yeah, when they went to a commercial break and came back, I was like, really? Really?
You're goddamn right.
Boy, oh boy.
And mind you, it's also like a minute or two short than everything else for the most part, because there are very few and far between dual segment episodes this season, if any others.
I think we're going to get one more.
The last one, right? The literal last one, I'm pretty sure. So this is one of 2. Like, it's also weird. And I'm glad it ended a couple minutes short so we could get something else. I really am glad.
We needed that. See, the blackout sketches are needed more than ever these days. They should be ending every single episode, honestly. But good.
Right.
Not what we're getting here.
Take your positions, if you will, now. The camera's ready, and smile, please.
That's right. Smile, please. Written and directed by Jack Laird, starring Cesare Danova. Lindsay Wagner. This is her second appearance. Yeah. Okay. Here's the whole thing. Woman follows a man into a crypt because he's promised her a photograph of a vampire. He's the vampire. Great painting.
The best part was having to see Rod read the thing for this. And like, fuck this shit. He's so not into it.
Yeah, it's nothing. And
it was real bad.
Yeah.
Is it more than it needed to be? At least it's here, and it comes and goes with a speed that is needed for a blackout sketch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Let's just take it for what it was, which is just brief.
Yeah, a bag of chips just doesn't need to be more than a bag of chips sometimes. It doesn't need to be a meal. And that's, the problem is when a blackout sketch becomes the entire episode. But I would go out on a limb and say Smile Please could have used like a minute, just an establishing shot of them walking through the streets together. And that would have meant 1 minute less of You Can Come Up Now, Mrs. Miliken, which I would have been perfectly fine with.
Time again for your weekly sojourn in the nether regions, where we offer you paintings hopefully proving that insomnia is much to be desired over somnolence. For better a wakeful night than an unwelcome dawn, if you will. All of which is perhaps a slightly agonized invitation to keep your eyes open here. We offer you paintings like this one. A graphic illustration of one of the most persistent and eternally recurring nightmares, shared all too commonly by all of us. That fear of being helplessly trapped in some inescapable circumstance. And with it, the hope that we can discover an exit. The title of this painting is The Other Way Out. And it poses the question, is this trip desirable? Because this is the Night Gallery.
We got a returning actor here, so he qualifies as a regular, Mr. Ross Martin. Martin Rosenblatt. He was born in Grodek Lvovsky, which is now the Ukraine, but in the 1920s, the year 1920, which is the year he was born, it was still Poland. He grew up in the Lower East Side. He spoke 7 languages. Wow. He pursued degrees in business and law before falling into acting. He was a television fixture in the 1950s. In fact, throughout his entire career, this is a television actor. If ever there was a medium made for this actor and an actor made for the medium, it is Ross Martin. He is skilled and thoughtful and just everything that television, I think, needed. And he starred in everything, Cameo Theater and Lights Out, Goodyear Playhouse. His connection to the gallery are his appearances on The Twilight Zone. He was in The Four of Us Are Dying and Death Ship. But most remember him rightly as Artemis Gordon in The Wild Wild West. But I would gladly...
Wild Wild West.
James West. That Wild Wild West, right? That one. That's the one you're talking. The guy with the horn ear? We keep bringing it up. It's come up every time we've talked now for like 3 weeks. Wild Wild West.
If we're mentioning Ross Martin, I got to mention Wild Wild West. Unfortunately, all roads lead to that abomination.
Wild Wild West cast, anybody? Just putting that out into the universe. You can cut this part out.
Minute by minute?
Oh boy.
Wow.
I'm here for it, folks.
Don't listen to them. Go watch anything starring Ross Martin. Just Google his name. He's got like 130 credits. It's insane. And he's always good in all of them.
Well, Chris and I can attest that, at least for me, he's one of my favorite adversaries for Columbo in the Suitable for Framing episode. He's terrific in that.
His reaction at the end of that episode stands among the great ones so far. He has a proper fucking freak out. And it's
yes,
fantastic.
He does.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Oh, you're gonna like that.
It's a good one.
Guarantee it.
All right. Ross Martin appears here in season 3, episode 6, which aired on November the 19th, 1972. The segment is called The Other Way Out. This was written and directed by Gene Kearney from a story by Kurt Van Elting, not a short story. This is a staff writer. It's his only credit, Kurt Van Elting. He has this episode and another episode in the next episode that we're going to be covering. This one stars Burl Ives and Ross Martin. Like I said, it's his second appearance. And it is about a businessman being blackmailed into bringing $10,000 to a seemingly deserted farmhouse. What'd you think of this one, Chris?
Burl Ives, folks. Holy moly, Burl Ives. If you know anything about the things that Mike and I work on, you know that we do a little show called Rankin' on Bass, where Burl Ives is nothing but a charming, charming snowman, not a cantankerous, murderous fuck like he is in this episode. In terms of what we get out of Burl Ives and Ross Martin together, it's fantastic. I think the stories, I think if you can understand what they're getting at pretty quickly, you can see where this is going. The twist at the end, I think, is fun, but I don't know. It's fine. You know what? It's good for this season, that's for sure. And Ross Martin and Burl Ives working off of one another, pretty good. And also, Ross Martin shoots a fucking dog in this episode, folks. How often does that happen in anything? Cold-blooded murders a dog.
I kept thinking of, was it Tales from the Crypt? The segment called Blind Alleys, where it's the blind people that are getting revenge on the guy. Oh. And they set up this whole maze, and there's razors all through the maze. So, and they turn out the lights at one point. So I kept thinking, oh, he's got Ross Martin in a maze. Oh, this is going to be good. There's going to be some really good booby traps and things down there. No, No, it wasn't that. So I love Ross Martin. I love seeing him freak out, and he definitely does a great job of freaking out in this episode. I like Burl Ives being a cantankerous, what'd you say, cantankerous fuck, I believe.
Yeah.
He's almost up there with his role from White Dog, where he's complaining about like R2D2, if memory serves. But I really liked him as the antagonist. And that whole thing too, how they don't know who the murderer of this girl was. So they are he's very scientific in that he's sending these blackmail notes to all of these different people. And Ross Martin's the only one that shows up, thus proving his guilt. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. So there are some great elements to this. I don't know if they pull it off 100%, but there's definitely some good stuff there. And I agree. I like the little twist at the end. That was nice.
Okay. I liked the idea of sending letters to the 8 possible suspects.
Right?
Okay. I liked him getting that letter and him reading the newspaper and realizing the slow panic on Ross Martin's face. I loved all of that. But did they also sneak 7 other letters into whatever versions of a country club that the other suspects were? Did they then slip an envelope into their pocket? An envelope which is redundant because it just says look in your glove compartment where the actual letter is? They do that for 8 people? I'm just curious.
How many cinema sins is this, you think? 3, 4, 7, because we don't see we only see Ross Martin and there are 7 other people. It is a little contrived. Do
you want some more cinema sins? I got some. The map. Okay. Ross Martin is in San Bernardino, right? And he's given a little map and it says drive 7 miles to a fork in the road and then 11 miles on to Hesperia. Hesperia is 38 miles from Bordeaux. That just doesn't make sense. I know that route, actually. I've been to Hesperia a bunch of times. I know that the path that he's taking is actually, in parts, a terrifying backwoods area. There's a lot of forest outside that portion. That all made sense. And, oh, by the way, I love Day for Night. Yay.
Oh, you're keeping with you liked it from last episode,
yeah.
Right? Okay, good.
I got it, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I wondered why he was driving like a maniac. Like, the point about 38 miles is he needed to be there by 11 p.m. in Hesperia. 38 miles, it's going to take him 45 minutes tops, right? But he's driving like a fucking crazy man on these dirt roads where the tires are squealing inexplicably.
Yes.
And their plan involves the telephone pole that they've put down. Burl Ives has put down. Burl Ives and Sonny, who we haven't mentioned yet, have put down this telephone pole, which they need that person to crash into, right? There's just no question. Otherwise, he would just drive back and go the other way to Hesperia. So, a little coincidental. I know I'm being a little hard on this one, but it bugged me, all these
contrivances.
They had a much better man trap in things like Motel Hell or The Cars That Ate Paris, where you know that car is doomed for going down that road.
Yeah, like The Hills Have Eyes. Like, right. You're going to be trapped now. I do like that Burl Ives mentioned homemade Applejack.
Yes.
The apartment, which suddenly I was awash in thoughts of Dexter Riley. Remember in Computer Wore Tennis Shoes? The Kurt Russell trilogy of Disney films.
And Applejack will also come up in Columbo, Chris. So
good.
Keep that in mind. Yes.
I was actually waiting for Burl Ives to go, would you like to play a game? Because that is how this episode ended. It ended very Saw-esque, like Saw 1. And like, oh, you've got another way out. It's the equivalent of throwing the saw at whoever Lee Wannell at the end of that movie. It's that same thing where it's like, oh no, I gotta kill myself. I mean, if it's between killing yourself or starving to death in a boxcar,
right?
I know which option I'm taking.
Yeah, I can't remember
quickly with no prejudice.
It was Dr. Phil and Shaquille O'Neal, right, down in that torture dungeon, and they had to do something. I can't remember what it was, but
he cuts the wrong foot off, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that episode of Night Gallery called A Question of Fear with Leslie Nielsen and Fritz Weaver?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of reminded me. Hey, by the way,
is it similar? Is it? Do you think?
Just slightly.
I mean, this show treads similar ground a lot all the time, frankly, like almost last episode even.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the 8 suitors, did they also engrave 6 coffins? Just have them ready? Which one showed up? Sonny, get down there. Okay, so I have some solutions. I wrote down solutions for Ross Martin's situation, which could have easily been achieved. Like, go out the window to get your bullets. Don't go out the door where the dogs are.
Right.
Out the window where the dogs aren't and your bullets are. And then climb back in the window and fucking murder Burl Ives. That's solution number one. Solution number two, he's carrying this giant lamp around. It is filled with oil. Burn the fucker down. Everything was combustible in that house. Solution three, do not climb down a rope ladder into the cellar of the House of Maniacs. What the fuck? Okay,
rule number 3 is the one that's normally ignored, Father Malone. Don't you know?
You know what? I put aside the fact that our hero was this businessman who killed a fucking go-go dancer while he was cheating on his wife. His wife, who he nearly tears her hand off peeling out of the country club because he's got to get to Malibu, he's got to get to the bank. Oh my God. I put all of that aside and I'm following because we're going to follow any human being stuck in this situation. You can put yourself in his scenario. But when he starts climbing down the ladder into the further depths of hell, I was just like, you deserve it. Solution 4, by the way, instead of crying, or maybe while you're crying, put that bullet into the gun and shoot one of them.
Exactly.
Maybe Burl Ives. He's a bigger target.
I like the Bill Mooney-esque child, though.
You like that kid?
He was very Moomy. Yeah.
that kid. I mean, there's something about a small ginger child with a bob that is slightly creepy.
It would have been better had it been Clint Howard.
Or anybody.
That kid was not very anything. He just stood there and said bye. And that page boy haircut was doing all the acting for him.
Yeah. I don't know. The reveal of Sonny, look what they did to my boy, was my fucking reaction. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's just what are you supposed to be extra freaked out that it's a child? What is the reveal meant to get out of us as the audience is the question. And my reaction was, okay, that's strange, I guess. He looks strange, just like Burl Ives looks strange. If you're trying to have two weirdos on screen, congratulations, you succeeded there. But in terms of compelling or wow, it's a small kid, okay, because he, like you said, he doesn't do anything. He literally does nothing.
Yeah, so there are two possibilities there. Either Burl Ives has just been spinning yarns about Sonny here, and he's just a fucking maniac putting all the guilt on the kid, or Sonny is calling all the shots, and I wanted to see that.
Right. I was hoping he would speak with an adult's voice or something weird like that, just to really mess with us.
Yeah, Sonny should have shown up much sooner, yes, and should have been speaking to him the entire time. You killed my sister. And if it was an adult's voice and then it's a kid, holy God, what's going on here?
Yeah.
A Bugsy Malone situation. The voice of Paul Williams comes out.
That'd be great.
That would be better than what we got. Bye. Okay. All right. For that to be the reveal, sure. I don't know. I mean, I like the reveal that, okay, he's going to die now and it's the bullet and he's going to kill himself. I liked that, sure. Thematically, but yeah, it's a small kid. What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean that he's a child? That he's a psychotic child, or it's whatever show.
I mean, you hear somebody talk about wait till Sonny gets here and Sonny's mad and Sonny's this and Sonny's that. I mean, you immediately, at least for me anyway, I think of the cannibal family from Judge Dredd. And the one guy who's very, made out of metal and stuff that fights Sylvester Stallone. I mean, that's Sonny in my mind, or Michael Berryman.
Absolutely. The mind reeled in abject terror at the possibility of Sonny. And then we're given a confusion at the end. It's supposed to be eliciting a gasp and a shock. And instead it's just wait, what? The kid? Really? Huh. Okay.
Yeah. It's meant to make us real in horror, and it's just this is kind of dorky.
Kind of dorky. Thank God Burl Ives is there, man. Jesus Christ. Ultimately, I think the episode kind of works if you put aside all the nonsense, because Ross Martin and Burl Ives are so good. Watching Burl Ives just strumming out a tune and having a good time while dogs are barking and Ross Martin is screaming is pretty great.
And I think that this is a better Ross Martin episode than the last one, the one with the witch, the thing with the witch and his wife.
No, Camera Obscura was the last Ross Martin
That's
episode.
Right, where you could see different parts of the
He was
city.
dressed up as an old man.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I still think this works better.
I think I like the other one better. just because was that the one? Yeah, that was like the guy in the city, right? And
The undead Rene Auberjonois being menaced.
yeah, I think I like that one a little bit better, but it could just be time and distance away from this episode.
All right, we're going to play a preview of the next episode, and we'll be right back to wrap things up.
Their taste, of course, must of necessity run toward the slightly odd, or at the very least, the bizarre. That's what we deal with here, the bizarre. The expected, unexpected, if you will. As in the case of this painting here. It's called Fright Night, featuring that beloved star of stage and screen. The name eludes me, but there is, you'll note, a familiarity about it. Actually, this fiery apparition is the sort of thing that appears in strange houses, because that's what this painting depicts, a very strange house. And you're welcome to share it with us, because this is the Night Gallery. Now, here you have a study in penology. Man imprisoned by his fellow man, caged in a barred cubicle and left alone far too long to contemplate both his sins and his sanity. This painting is called Finnegan's Flight. It touches upon prisons, hypnosis, and the soaring wings of imagination. But as to the latter, a small warning. Imagination can be a double-edged thing. It can take you out of the humdrum realities, but it can also fly you to a place much less pleasant. May I introduce to you now Mr. Finnegan in his first and last appearance in the Night Gallery.
That's right. On the next Midnight Viewing, we'll be taking a look at Season 3, Episodes 7 and 8, Fright Night and Finnegan's Flight. Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast, is a proud member of the Weirding Way Media Group, and the theme song was composed by HP. Until next time, what are you working on, and where can people find it? The answer is Weirding Way Media. Mike White?
Weirding Way Media.
And what about you, Chris?
Weirding Way Media, and soon to be XXX offshoot Weird Dong Way Media.
Wow. Is that where Cranking on Ass is going to be?
It is now.
All right. Get ready.
Love that show. All right. Thank you all for joining us here at... I'm Father Malone. Go check me out at Weirding Way Media as well. Thank you all for joining us here at Midnight Viewing. The gallery is now closed.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.